Imagine a land where cattle are not just food, but currency, symbol of status, and even the key to marriage, a place where every animal is guarded like a treasure, and its loss can mean not only hunger, but also the disgrace of an entire family. Now picture men and young warriors willing to risk their lives to protect that treasure, facing off against other armed groups in long and brutal battles deep in the heart of Africa. This is the reality of some of the most feared and respected cattle herding communities on the continent. Peoples who live surrounded by danger, yet carry ancient traditions that shape every aspect of their existence. In the heart of East Africa lies South Sudan, the world's youngest country, born in 2011 after decades of civil war. It is a land of contrasts. Vast plains, immense rivers, and tropical forests coexist with arid regions plagued by long droughts. Here, survival depends on nature and on cattle. The White Nile runs through part of the territory, feeding the pastures essential for the herds. During the rainy season, the grass flourishes, providing food for the cattle, but in the dry months, the green vanishes, and entire tribes are forced to migrate in search of pasture and water. Unlike in other parts of the world, in these African communities, cattle are not just a source of meat or milk. They are true social currency. A family's importance is measured by the number of cows it owns. The more cattle, the greater the prestige, authority, and respect within the tribe. A man without cattle is considered poor, even if he owns land or other goods. But a man with a large herd can become a leader, even a tribal chief. In villages and camps, everything revolves around the herds. Where the White Nile flows in the dry season, it provides abundant pasture, and it is here that the tribes set up their camps. Homes are built close to the cattle, and religious rituals often involve the animals themselves. The herds are seen as part of the family, but this value also brings danger. Cattle spark rivalries and fuel conflict among men. Cattle raiding, stealing herds, is an ancient practice that still triggers violent clashes today. To defend their wealth, entire tribes are armed. This is the world of Africa's most dangerous cattle herders, a place where the value of a man is measured by the size of his herd, and where every animal represents not just wealth, but also identity and her. The day begins even before the sun rises. After cleaning their teeth with a tree twig, they crouch behind a cow and wash their heads with its urine, a practice believed to prevent infection, while also dyeing their hair a striking orange. Once the cows are milked, drums are beaten to signal the rest of the tribe that it's time to take the herds to graze in distant pastures. In single file, teenage boys lead the way, guiding dozens of animals that march slowly toward the open fields. Armed with rifles, they are not only herders, but guardians, protecting the cattle from thieves and rival tribes. Responsibility comes early. Many boys as young as 12 or 13 are already entrusted with dozens of cattle, knowing that each life under their watch is tied to survival of their family. Under the scorching sun, the herders spend their days moving the cattle between shaded areas, ensuring they find water and keeping a close eye on the most prized animals. Some bulls are regarded as nearly sacred and receive special attention. While the young men remain in the fields, women stay behind in the village. They tend to the homes and corrals, spread ashes to protect the cattle from insects, and prepare meals based on fresh milk. Milk is the cornerstone of their diet, consumed raw, fermented, or mixed into porridge. As the sun sets, the herds are brought back to the village. Wooden enclosures fill with animals, and the youth spend hours tending to them. Ash from burnt dung is rubbed onto the cattle's hides to ward off flies and mosquitoes. Teenagers and young men spend entire nights keeping watch over the herds. A boy's courage is measured not only by the number of cattle he guards, but also by his readiness to defend them in case of an attack. The cattle they raise are the majestic Ankole Watusi, also known as the cattle of kings, instantly recognizable by their enormous curved horns, a living symbol of wealth, pride, and tradition. Among these peoples, cattle are not just food or wealth, They define the destiny of men and women. For a young man to marry, he must offer cattle to the bride's family as dowry. This payment can amount to dozens of animals, meaning years of effort to build a worthy herd. The more cattle he gives, the greater the prestige of the marriage. Each animal holds value beyond the physical. For the cattle herders of South Sudan, oxen are not just animals. They are part of the family, part of the identity of every man and woman. Many boys receive an ox as a gift when they reach adolescence, and with it they form a bond so strong it becomes almost spiritual. The animal is given a special name, chosen according to its markings, temperament, or the shape of its horns. The boy, in turn, may also take on a nickname derived from that ox, creating a symbolic connection between man and animal. The ox is painted, cared for, and treated in a special way, serving as a symbol of the young man's passage into adulthood. This connection is seen even in the most practical aspects of daily life. Ash from burned dung is rubbed on the oxen's coats to protect them from flies and ticks, but it is also used by the young men themselves. They spread the ash on their bodies and faces to protect against flies and deadly mosquitoes. The same ash is also used as a type of toothpaste and as body decoration, considered a mark of beauty, offering both man and beast protection from the scorching Sudanese heat. Cattle urine also plays a role in hygiene. It is used to wash the body and even to lighten the hair, creating yellowish or orange tones, considered signs of beauty and strength. Milk, on the other hand, is consumed at every meal, serving as the foundation of the diet. In times of scarcity, a cow's blood is carefully drawn, without killing the animal, to provide the family with extra protein. The herd also inspires local art. Traditional songs are composed in honor of specific oxen, praising their beauty or their value within the herd. Young men sing these melodies, reinforcing the emotional bond between the animal and its owner. This connection is so deep that, in many cases, the death of a beloved ox can bring mourning similar to that of losing a family member. But in a land where cattle are so precious, danger is never far away. Cattle raiding, the theft of livestock, has been a practice passed down through generations. Armed young men storm villages at night, clash with guards, and escape with dozens of animals. These raids are not mere thefts. They are battles that leave behind the dead and wounded, cementing the reputation of these herders as some of the most dangerous in Africa. For centuries, they have defended their herds by force, once with spears and now with rifles and automatic weapons, making the clashes even more brutal. South Sudan carries decades of political instability. The African country shows alarming levels of violence and poverty, amounting to one of the world's largest humanitarian crises. The government structure in South Sudan is so weak that in the most remote regions, the law of the strongest prevails, and precisely in many of those places, cattle raiding is one of the greatest threats to the way of life of pastoral tribes. This means living in a near-permanent state of war. Many herders own huge herds and travel armed to protect their animals from theft. Nomads, often over 2 meters tall and hardened survivors of the harshest conditions, do not fear death. They fight only to prevent their cows from being stolen. "If you don't fight, they'll come after your cattle," one herder said. "If someone wants to take them away, either I kill or they kill me, of course." Beyond the violence, there is the constant struggle against nature. Prolonged droughts ravage the pastures, forcing tribes to travel long distances in search of water. When rivers dry up, both people and animals suffer. During the harshest periods, herders face impossible choices: take the cattle into dangerous territories and risk violent confrontations, or remain in barren areas and lose animals to hunger and thirst. In every decision, risk is inevitable, yet the cattle herders of South Sudan endure. They develop defense strategies, organize night watches, move their herds on long journeys, and strengthen alliances between tribes to survive amid the chaos. This fragile balance makes these herders remembered not just as cattle farmers, but as warriors, men and women who carry in their hearts the strength of centuries of tradition and resilience. And now, I ask you, could you live in a place where every day is a battle to protect not only your family, but also your animals? Leave your answer in the comments. If this video showed you a side of Africa you've never seen before, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Here, we'll keep bringing stories of peoples who face the greatest challenges on the planet, always revealing traditions that few get to know.